And welcome to I Protest. This is Donald Jeffries coming to you from just outside the swamp-infested Washington, D.C., as we do every Friday at this time. We're back, some returning panelists, experts in the Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson saga, and this is in the news again, especially after the debate between Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson, which was, I guess, last week. And so I want to have the panel's thoughts on that and everything else. AlleyTopFiles is here. That's great. Steve Cameron, Muppet Masher, and we hope to have Greg Lake here coming as well. So we'll have a great discussion. So I guess we'll start, first of all, since we last met, obviously, I guess the debate is the big thing. But Alley, I want you to talk first about how, because you were on Stu Peters, and I only saw snippets of that debate between Stu Peters and Andrew Wilson. First of all, what did you think of their debate, and what happened when you came on right after that on his show? He's got a big show.
It all started, he surprised me on a live stream that I was on. Somebody sent him my StreamYard link, and he was backstage, and I was like, oh, he's like in my live. So I brought him up, and then it started from that, and he just like commended me on my work with the pastors, and I've done a lot of work on that for the past since September. So after that, he invited me on his show, and that was the same day he had the debate with Andrew Wilson, and that was a lot. It was like Andrew Wilson was trying to get him to say something to incriminate him. It felt like, well, tell me why. Do you know Andrew Colvett was there? Say it. You know, it was kind of like something like that. It wasn't really, I don't think it was like a debate. I think it was more like him trying to trap him.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
With a circular style of argumentative questioning. It just seemed like he was circling until he could try to find a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. And then right after that, maybe 4 or 5 hours after that, I went on his show, and we just talked about the court, because that's when the court hearing was, wasn't it?
It was that a little after that, yeah.
Just about evidence and things that we found, like 2 different backpacks and Tyler Robinson on the roof, those videos. There was a whole bunch of evidence that I brought and I showed, and also the pastors, we talked about that. I've been doing lots of work on a whole bunch of things. So next couple weeks, you might see my work come out, because I've been working really hard on this South Korea and Greenland, France thing that I think is all allegedly connected.
Yeah. So what Allie's been doing, just to elaborate a little bit on that, is she's been building Charlie's international timeline. Not a lot of people have sort of focused in on that. We've all been focused on his movements and who he was talking to and associating with when he was in the U.S. leading up to his demise.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of things that he was involved in overseas in 2025 as well, which might have landed him in some potentially hot water with some foreign countries.
Yeah.
So we decided to take a look in that, and we've done about 7 hours of live streaming, and Allie has written a very detailed paper with diagrams drawing all the connections. It's on X. If you're interested in reading it, Don, we can send it to you. But
yeah, please, yes.
On the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, his last moments on this earth, he was in South Korea, and then he went to Japan. But his South Korea trip, down there, it's politics and religion do not mix. And that pastor that he was talking to went to jail. And Charlie said, "I'll do everything I can to get you out of jail." That was on the 8th and 9th. He said, "I'll talk to Trump administration and Korean officials." And then he went to Japan, came back, and obviously he's not here with us anymore. So I feel like those digital footprints are very important to find out what he was talking about with those officials. I think it's important. Maybe, and I said it in my paper, maybe Joe Kent was looking into that
before he was forced to resign.
Yeah.
Because
very and you guys are great stuff. And again, you guys know I go back to the JFK assassination. When I was a teenager, I was working for Mark Lane's group back then, and you guys remind me of these citizens who investigated that, because this is kind of history repeating itself. Steve obviously knows that, because as usual, we can't count on any professional journalists. You do have Candace Owens now, which is a little different. We didn't have anybody like that back then. But I don't know if
She's
she's
driving
really
the bus, as Muppet would say. She's driving the
Yes,
bus.
she's driving the bus, but she's not really. She was obviously she's well known enough, but you can't really call her, I don't think, a mainstream journalist at this point. But I want to, and thinking of Muppet, I want to go around the horn here. Muppet Masher, you have been, you and Allie are both getting lots of attention here. So you just came off a Spaces. So how did that go? Did you confront any of these people again like you did before?
No, not that one. That was a bit of a research space. I think it went for about 8 hours.
Wow.
It was a bit of a marathon. We before that we actually did a separate space, which was basically all the people that are missing in action and where they are now. So there's quite a few people that were involved with Charlie's his life or his death that have gone and changed jobs, been transferred, been fired. And there's a whole range of them, and there's a bit of a timeline with that earlier this year, around January and March. A lot of them just jumped ship.
And we did a space last night too, Muppet. I had Muppet in my space, helping me co-host. I had a gentleman that even Barron talked about early on. You know, he's the one with the recording of coming into the hospital at Timpanogos, recording coming in, and he was, as soon as he went into the hospital to see his grandma, the doors were locked. Yeah, so we had him on our space last night, which was very, very interesting because he hasn't spoken, and I was very happy that he answered my DM and he came into the space to talk about what happened September 10th.
And we were very happy to have our friend Muppet there because he's very insightful, as we know, because we all know Muppet here on this channel. We've all talked to him quite a bit. And we were happy he was able to make it over because he asked some good questions. And we didn't want to scare our guest away, but we did want to get some important questions answered. And so thanks, Muppet, for being there last night. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I always like coming on with you guys. You always have the receipts. So,
no,
so do you, sir. So do you.
I think it's like a community, like.
No, it's really.
I'll be like, Muppet, did you see this? And then Muppet will be like, I'll find it. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, this. And then it's just like a team. Like,
well, you guys
together,
are
we find things.
doing what the citizen journalists did to the JFK assassination. Mark Lane, Harold Weisberg, Sylvia Marr. You had some housewives back then. You had Shirley Martin, who did great work, never wrote a book, and just a housewife, and did a lot of the essential early work. Lee Harvey Oswald's mother was in there too. So these were no journalists were doing anything. So you remind me of that. I just hopefully the infighting doesn't happen, because in that, with JFK people, 9/11, all these communities, it ends up being fractured and people accuse each other of being
me and Muppet are getting hit hard. They are.
Well, if you get too big, that's probably going to happen. People are going to accuse you of something, if that's the case. Steve Cameron, my old friend, good to see you here, and you look like you have something ready to share again. So, Steve, why don't you share away whatever the first thing you want to show us?
Don, you're not getting out of this that easy. Happy birthday!
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, big 5-0. Big 5-0.
Is it his birthday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
To you.
To you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Don.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We lost Greg too. I don't know what happened to Greg. If you're out there, hopefully he comes back.
Maybe he had audio issues.
He just disappeared off there. So I don't know. I was going to get to him, obviously. So Steve, what do you have to share? I know you definitely bring the receipts. Steve always has the information at his fingertips here.
Well, thanks a lot, Don. And honestly, I couldn't do it without this open open investigation with people like Allie and Chris and Muppet and Greg Lake. I hope he gets back on. Definitely want to hear his take on what's happened, what's unfolded over the last couple of weeks. I'm happy to be here. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see everybody on the round table, and I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Cool. So it looks like you had something. It looks like you have a picture.
Yeah. Yeah,
wanna
so
share
it,
You want me to put it up
Yeah.
here now?
yeah, if you want to, this is just
Grenade.
something
All
I
right,
put
what do
up
we got
recently.
here?
Oh no, that's mine.
Point
Sorry.
there. Keep your eye there.
Oh, that's yours. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh,
so-
sorry, sorry.
And
Oh, yeah.
he shows
That's very
something
important,
on his
too, what Allie's
laptop
showing there.
to
This is okay, so this is what Candace before she went on her I
Yeah,
think she's on vacation again. So this is Terrell, taking the SD card, put it in his pocket, and now he's showing Philip Goldsberry he's working on the laptop. You'll see it. If you want to do Steve's first, or we can do this after.
well, you have yours up. Why don't you do what's up there now?
Okay. So she's just gonna explain it now.
nice hand grenade. All right, what do we got here? We'll point there. Keep your eye there. Gets up and he shows something on his laptop.
So he's showing the laptop to Philip Goldsberry there. And if you look right in the front of the picture, that guy in the plaid shirt, we've been looking for him for a while. We haven't identified him, but I'll explain to you in a minute. Obviously, Muppet and Charlie's Angels has helped in this because we were trying to find this guy that I think his name is Christopher because his name was on the dash driving Charlie Kirk into UVU. So when I saw Candace drop this, I go, oh, well, look at he's here again. This man in the front there.
Up to Philip Goldsberry. He sits there and he just gets busy on his laptop. Looks like he's putting in looks like he maybe putting something else in there. Maybe a second SD card. Not exactly sure. I'm just letting you guys watch this so that you can see. We were told by Andrew Colvat that he was.
So there he is on the laptop. So Terrell Farnsworth is doing something to the laptop. Doesn't look like anybody's concerned. Someone just, got assassinated. Looks
Yeah,
pretty
it's
chill
very
behind there.
Like
It's kind of
At the
weird.
park. They don't look distraught, do they?
It looks just weird. And if you could pull up my other picture because it's important, and then
Okay.
we can move on.
You have to-
Yeah. So that's the guy that brought Charlie into UVU, that first SUV there. Only people that were in the vehicle was Mikey, Frank, Turek, that guy that's getting out, which we think is Christopher, right, Muppet? We think because he plugged his iPhone into into the
So
device
we've
there.
got him on the dash there, and then Brian Harpole mentions that there's a Chris that's part of the security team. So we've narrowed it down, but we just can't find his surname. So.
Yeah, and we asked Blake Neff in the space. I asked him, so who is he? And he goes, I don't know. He's some security detail.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't know who he is.
says, I don't know.
Is that the guy who was marking time? Was he marking time with him? Sorry. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, you're bang on, Steve. He was just marking time. And additional to Ali questioning him about who is in the SUV, I think we've all seen now, Muppet went to town on him, asking about his whereabouts from the moment he landed.
Yeah.
And he couldn't provide a single answer to Muppet. Not a single answer.
Yeah.
It was, I plead the fifth on everything. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what he ate for breakfast. He didn't know where he slept.
He didn't know what hotel he was at.
He didn't know anything.
No.
From the minute he got off the plane with Charlie and got in the SUV, he had no idea. But he can remember Mikey's quivering lip. He'll never forget that. So,
Exactly.
can't remember anything else.
And he remembers everything from the Japan trip too, in Korea. He remembers all that.
Yeah, but doesn't remember the day his boss was murdered.
Yeah. And he said he didn't call 911 either. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that. It's just where Candace left off on Thursday. She just posted that video of Terrell now sitting down on the laptop doing something, which she thinks that he could have been allegedly cropping the video so you can't see anything behind what's happening on the ground where Charlie was, is what.
Ellie, can I jump in?
Sure.
I wanted to ask you a question. I mean, like everybody here listening or on the panel probably knows who Farnsworth is. Can you explain to people in the audience that might not know who he is and what he did that day to that crime scene?
Yes. So Terrell Farnsworth works for Visual Impulse. He's hardly at these Prove Me Wrong events. Philip Goldsberry is more likely to be at these events, but he is the one that, if you guys haven't seen it, he's the one that steps on Charlie's chair goes up top, takes the camera down, and then takes the SD card out, goes behind in the tunnel, and then puts it in his zip pant pocket. And then, he's also Mormon. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but Charlie did.
But he goes way back.
He goes way
Doesn't
back.
he go way
yeah.
with Boyer? Because I've seen
his family
photos.
Yeah, the Farnsworth know Tyler Boyer like this. They're tight. Yeah. So Tyler Boyer's Terrell's brother, Tyler Farnsworth, is really tight with Tyler Boyer. He went to his wedding. He was his best man. So
this guy isn't some rando.
No, not random.
No.
Alley and Muppet months ago did a massive deep dive on all the connections, the Mormon connections within TPUSA. Those two destroyed that stream. They were able to peg down every single person and all of their connections and explain it really well.
I remember, Muppet, when I first met you, you were like, can you please do a thing on, the Mormons? And I said, oh, it's kind of touchy situation. He goes, you got to do it. And then I said, you're going to come on my show and do it with me. So Muppet can add to that because it's all linked.
Yeah, we've done a couple of them now. I found the link basically because of Tyler Boyer contacted Mike Lee, who was a senator in Utah, and told him that Charlie was coming to town and to get Phil Lyman to try and appear at the event. And then the whole time frame of that, we found out that there was some lies being told. So that made me really skeptical about that whole Mormon connection. And the Tyler Boyer, Mike Lee, Phil Lyman, George Zinn, it all just follows on. And yeah, there were some lies told, and I think there may have been some people that knew things that weren't letting on what they knew.
And so wasn't it Terrell Farnsworth? Wasn't it his story that he grabbed those SD cards, or specifically the one that was directly located behind Charlie Kirk, because people were evil and stealing, and he wanted to prevent people stealing because someone had stolen a hat off a table. The free hats, by the way, that they were throwing free hats into the audience. And his story apparently was he was trying to protect the crime scene by taking out the SD cards, but he did not take the camera down. He just took the SD card, which is very strange.
And Steve, you're right. There's all these other cameras. By the way, Chris is a camera guy, tech guy, and that's so bizarre. That's not the first thing you would do, right? Like, you have to step on the chair and take it out.
Yeah, a lot of work.
That would be more harder for someone to steal rather than all the cameras that were around the tent were just left there.
Yeah, and
the TPUSA story falls apart too with Andrew Colvett tweeted out early on that a policeman told Terrell Farnsworth that he could take those SD cards out, but we have it all on video. There's no interaction with a police officer to allow him to do that.
Interview with Henry Dells, the first speaker that had was talking about Mormonism and all that. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember Henry Dells. He was this first speaker that was debating Charlie. I had an interview with him, and he said he was told that the FBI has the SD cards. And then we questioned him and said, how do you know that? How do you know? Did you see it? And he said, no, I didn't see it. We were all put in a room. So these kids after were all put in a room and with the door shut. And he said, after a couple questions, he said, well, no, it wasn't really that. It was like some teacher or somebody said that the SD cards went to the FBI. So we were getting third or fourth hand information without even visually seeing it. And then half of these people are not even watching what's going on the internet. So we showed Henry Dells on live screen, Terrell taking down the SD card and putting it away. And he said, I can't believe that. I've never seen that before. I'm like, how do these people not see this?
Yeah, and to further what Muppet was saying, here's another story which then again doesn't make sense and contradicts. So it makes it look like they're not being truthful, right?
Well, yeah, they're absolutely not, because we now have Terrell Farnsworth's signed affidavit that he gave to the police, and he never handed over an SD card. He never handed over any flash drives. He actually uploaded 4 videos, and they've got 5 cameras. He only uploaded 4 videos to a Google Drive link at some later stage, and then sent the police link to the Google Drive. So the footage that the authorities have is not the original footage. We would need to know where the SD cards are, and Terrell needs to hand over the SD cards.
That's
Absolutely.
interesting. You
Yeah.
just
Hey,
said-
Muppet. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just saying, because they have 5 cameras, but I think, and I could be wrong, please correct me, guys. When you look at the documents, it says there's footage from 4 cameras, not 5.
100%. There's one missing. And I
So
think
where's
it's
the footage from that camera, and I guess at this point we don't know what camera that is. What if it's Charlie's?
I have a
close-up
feeling
camera?
it's Braden Glasscock's footage that was missing. That's
If
just
that's the
just a
case-
hunch.
If that's the case, it's not that crucial. But like, if either the camera that was shooting Charlie's close-up or the camera that was shooting the speaker, if either one of those footages is not there, I would consider that a big issue.
Yeah, and why Snoops has a question in the chat there. Why is the defense not asking for those SD cards?
Valid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
Maybe
was it?
waiting for trial? Maybe for trial? I don't know.
Are you guys getting more of a sense of the defense? You know, because I'm very dubious about the defense in any of these high-profile cases. They always do a terrible job. They usually just, go along with the prosecution and don't put up any kind of a defense at all. Do we have any kind of hope that this will be different, or what do you guys think of his defense team?
Don, on my share on my screen, that's what I was gonna open up with.
Go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to share the screen that I have there, and
okay, I think is this it? Let me see. Okay, let me remove this. Oh, I got to remove this other one from the screen. Wait a minute.
and I wanted Greg in here too, Greg Lake, because I've already heard his opinion maybe a month ago about this, but I'd like to see if it's changed at all.
Is this what
I'll
you're
let
talking
him
about?
answer.
Is it?
Yeah, I put a poll up a couple of days ago, and those are the results so far. Everybody in chat, first of all, I just want to tell everybody in chat, if you're not following Muppet Masher on X, go follow him right now. Same with AlleyTopFiles, and that's her husband Chris with her right now. Please go follow them.
Thank
Mad
you.
Max, and you're gonna. The stuff that we're talking about today is on those X pages. So you can kind of follow along that way or, research these things after the show. But also, real quick, Muppet, I did have a follow-up. Didn't you make a post showing a close-up of that of the screen that was on the camera that was directly behind Charlie? And that showed a very wide shot.
Yeah.
And it didn't that. Yeah, so can you explain that a little bit? Because Candace was talking about the footage that she received from Terrell Farnsworth and that it was zoomed in. So based on your findings on that, picture, that photo of the camera behind Charlie Kirk, can you describe what we're seeing there and how it doesn't match up with what Candace received from Farnsworth?
Yeah, sure. That's Philip Goldsberry Jr. who's actually mounting the camera during the setup process. And it's on Charles McClintock Wilson's photographs. And if you zoom right in, Philip's got the little screen open on that camera, and you can see the viewer, and it's actually quite wide. You would have seen the full length of the table. You would have seen behind Charlie, and even a little bit higher up, like the actual tent. And then the footage that Terrell Farnsworth showed Candace is cropped on all 4 sides. So it's pretty much that the middle third is all we're seeing that Terrell showed. and it would have shown pretty much everything that happened after the incident. And we also would have heard what was going on.
Have you had that's very important too. Have you had an opportunity to get that to Candace? Is she aware of that? Do you know?
Oh, I don't have any access to Candace. I know she sees some of my posts, but I don't have a direct route to Candace to get her information. So I just keep putting it out there, and hopefully enough people see it and it filters through in some way.
Okay. Because it sounded like she wasn't sure. It sounded like she wasn't sure if that was zoomed in or not. Maybe she thought it was, but I mean, I think that's evidence right there that it was for sure.
Absolutely is. Yeah.
Looking at your poll, obviously it looks like we may be subject to the same thing that happens in all these show trials. What you guys are, I watch Candace too, but I'm still struck as to why. If this was a legitimate defense team, they would have been consulting with her, unless she's not saying that, or nobody has done more work on it than she has, or maybe she would be an expert witness or something like that. But I haven't heard anything like that. Do you guys think when she talks about, she says she has a source that has talked to their family? Because I think that's key. If his family, and the families in all of these other cases, are silent, or they go along for their own fears or whatever, they go along with the nonsense. Do you think that they will tell the truth? They eventually will say, no, we don't think he did it, or he didn't confess. Because I'm still hearing people saying he confessed 7 times and all this nonsense. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he didn't.
That was in the charging document. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard it.
We haven't heard it. There's been no signed statements by the parents saying that he confessed. There is a researcher on X, Diligent Denizen. He's claims to be in contact with a member of the family. I believe it's the grandmother, and they've been texting back and forth. And that person, through text, through that researcher on X, the grandmother said that Tyler did not confess to the parents. He said he did not shoot Charlie Kirk, and that the parents do not think that he did. And the only reason that they helped him surrender because they were worried about his safety. Now, that's all through Diligent Denizen and the text messages that he's going back and forth.
That will be earth-shattering if he goes ahead and pleads not guilty and contends that he didn't do it, because that will finally, because in all these cases, what happens from going back to James Earl Ray and they somehow get flipped, or there's not a real trial. You never see something like in this case that could be, you talk about must-see TV. If all this evidence that you guys are displaying here, if his defense team is must be privy to some of it at least, imagine them putting that on television for people to watch, because the prosecution can't stand up to it. Obviously, reasonable doubt is a mild way to describe it. That's just kind of a statement that I hope that happens, but and none of you have.
I hope Greg can get back in here, because he's an attorney, and I think his opinion on this definitely matters.
Greg, yes, Greg, yeah. Hopefully, Greg comes what he has to say. But these cases typically, that Steve, going back a ways, they're always.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the guys that Robinson's in custody and they're going to try to put him on trial. That's the unusual.
And when they do survive in recent times, you end up with a show trial like the Boston bombing guy, and the attorney says he did it in their opening statement, even though he supposedly said he didn't do it to begin with. They never testifies. I don't know. Let's hope this is different. But what do you? Let's start with you, Allie and Chris. What do you guys think of? What did you think of the great debate? We know Andrew Wilson came in there as somebody who wasn't knowledgeable about this and debated Candace Owens. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he didn't know one of the charges, not even one.
No,
so I thought that was pretty telling when he said there's a mountain of evidence, and he couldn't even explain one of the charges. So that was pretty interesting.
I had 2 points which I thought were interesting, because it got brought up in the debate, that he was a master gunsmith or gunsmith. And then he stated that maybe the bullet just fell apart in midair before getting to Charlie. And I thought that's
bizarre.
Utterly ridiculous. And then in the very beginning, I think it was in the first.
Is that a claim?
I guess it is a
Is
claim.
he making a claim?
So, and then he stated, I think it was within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the debate, that the evidence was absolutely overwhelming. And then PBD asked him what percentage he thinks that he's guilty, and he said 75 to 85%. And that is not overwhelming. So there's three key facts there. And another one is, I think a lot of people are missing this. He was there to prove that it was overwhelming evidence and that the conspiracies had no weight. And when it comes to, we just talked about the overwhelming evidence that there is none. But when it comes to the other side, he did not kill any conspiracy at all. Like, he may have made Candace rephrase certain things, but he did not dead any one of Candace's claims. So I don't understand how he could claim that he won when none of those claims were actually fully debunked and are still all alive with some kind of evidence to support them.
And I was happy that she said, she said Israel and France. I was really happy about that. I was just like, okay, great. She said there was Foreign Legion on the ground. So could it be overseas phones too with the French Foreign Legion? I don't know.
It's possible. But anyways,
I want to follow up on your
take on it.
I want to follow up on your point, Chris, about the first thing. One of the first things that Wilson said was that I'm 75% to 80% sure that Robinson. That's reasonable doubt, folks. I think the Fed sloppers that sent him out there, all their heads exploded when he said that.
Yeah.
That's reasonable doubt.
Well said.
Well said, Steve.
Well, he wasn't. I had only said, again, I wrote about this, and I question where he came from. I question where a lot of these people come from, because he got an invite to Joe Rogan, which isn't an easy thing to do. And I look at it, besides that, he's debated, he's kind of from the manosphere, and he debates feminists. And the one debate I saw, the feminists made him look really stupid, because his wife has 3 kids by 2 guys or something like that. And he lost it and started shouting. I thought he was going to do that in this debate, but clearly his strategy was to remain calm, because he was trying to be super calm and irrational and everything.
Did you see the foot going, Don? Did you see the foot?
He was sweating. His foot was going like
this.
He was yelling to his foot.
Yeah,
he crashed out through the shake of the foot.
Steve, do that again. Oh my God.
That was funny, Steve.
Don't dogs do that? Like, I don't know.
I think he lost the debate the moment he pulled out his phone to read his opening statement. Like, that was just embarrassing. I was like, what the hell is going on here? This guy's supposed to be a debater, and he can't even come up with an opening statement unless he reads it.
Somebody
Blake paid $300,000. He paid $300,000 for that.
I know. How embarrassing.
For the Blake Neff speech.
I nearly felt sorry for him in the end, but because it's Andrew Wilson, I don't feel sorry for him.
I still doubt that I don't know where he would have that money, but somebody paid it. But it's too bad Andrew Colbert couldn't have done it himself, because I would like to see. Candace was showing, I guess it was last night, if you saw, that they continue to say that she wasn't friends with Charlie Kirk since 2018, and she's got this stuff from 2023 and 2024 and everything, and it just blatantly contradicts him. And I would love to see a larger debate on that. Not only that, about Erica, and the fact that she's not just being unfair to her on her inconsistencies.
Why are they platforming him on the Charlie Kirk show when he literally called Erica Kirk a retard? Like that.
Yes, yeah.
Do you think Charlie Kirk would be? I know he's not here with us, but I still don't think it's okay for them to platform him on the show. It's just bizarre. I just think it's disgusting that he said that about his own wife.
Yeah. The one thing I find funny is because Andrew Wilson does have a lot of female followers, and then he turns around and calls them all retards. And then after the debate, they're in his comments section going, "Great job, Andrew." And I just question the women that follow him, because he doesn't have any respect for you ladies. I'm sorry if you are a lady who follows Andrew Wilson. He doesn't respect you, so why are you following him?
Yeah.
He blatantly says it. It's I don't know. Just a weird thing.
I find it pretty funny though that the whole TPUSA clan and all the Hasbara agents are out trying to convince people that Andrew won that debate. That's just insane. He got absolutely annihilated.
Didn't PBD do a poll and it said Candace won?
Yeah.
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 You got the Gary Meltons of the world are out there trying to defend him and go, "Oh, he won that hands down." I'm like, you guys are so delusional. It's embarrassing.
That's the problem with debates, though, isn't it? Because nobody ever says they lose. Everybody always says, and it's. I didn't read anybody say if it had been a fight, they would have stopped it. That's what they typically say. In partisan debate, they always think they won. But I will say that on X, at least, when I saw it was underwhelming. I expected to see lots more celebration for Andrew Wilson winning, even though obviously he had no argument. But what did Andrew Colbert and TPUSA, did they even comment much on it? I didn't read a whole lot on it.
Oh, they had him on the show. They had Andrew Wilson on the show yesterday, on the Charlie Kirk show. Andrew Wilson called Candace stupid. It was a pretty long stream. You got to watch it. It was about an hour and a half.
Well, I saw the part where Andrew Wilson kind of defended her when they accused her of loving Hitler or something, and then he kind of shocked them by saying, "Well, no, that's not actually what she said."
Yeah, but the whole thing was really to discredit Candace, that whole entire stream. He won, is what he said, hands down.
Well, that's why I hope you guys can start making a mark where they start paying attention to you, because they really do personalize it in Candace, and it's all about discrediting her. That's what I said. I'd like to see a larger debate on the issues of her relationship with Charlie and Erica Kirk's background, because she's done a lot of work on that. And because that can't be defended either any more than the case against Tyler Robinson. Mm-hmm. Steve, did you have another thing you wanted to share? There's stuff here. Do we share everything, or is there something else?
I put a couple things. So I have a video that Muppet had on X. This is a very good video.
Yeah, that's an
important
one.
And then the two pictures is Terrell taking down the SD card, and the other one is Philip Goldsberry fixing the camera behind Charlie. So those are just.
Which one is that? Is it we haven't seen any of these?
No.
Okay.
You could take that one down.
Okay, that one we've seen. Okay, how about this?
Yeah. That one is Terrell. Okay. So if people don't know who Terrell Farnsworth was, as you can see, all the other cameras are around, and he's taking that one down. That's the important one, because Charlie was literally on the ground there on top of an equipment case. So whatever was happening there, we're never going to see it.
Yep. And
that was maybe 2 minutes after?
Yeah, it was really fast.
Really fast.
It was really fast.
So as Adam Bartholomew, sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, he came around as soon as it happened, and he filmed this as in live streaming.
Yeah, and Muppet touched a little bit just about the importance of that camera already, and the fact that it definitely looks like it's cropped, and I can sort of vouch for that. It looks like it's cropped, but then what also I think there's a second problem. Not only do I think it's cropped, but we have a 16:9 monitor or TV, and it looks like she held her cell phone up to record it or something on portrait mode. So I think we're missing some crop stuff, but we might be even missing a little bit more too, potentially. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. It looks like Terrell crop. To be fair.
Yes.
When Terrell showed Candace the footage from behind, it looked completely cropped. You can't, and usually at all the Prove Me Wrong, you can see his chair behind him, the grass. So we know what that camera can do. What kind of camera is that, babe?
I'm not sure, but the lens on it is.
Can you bring up the other photo, Don? There's a closer picture of it.
But it's definitely 4K footage, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% it is. Can't tell. I know a couple people have posted some tighter ones, but generally those are mirrorless cameras, which are good in low light. So that means they've got a great depth of field. A lot of that depends on the glass as well that's put on the camera. But it should have been able to capture all that and very high quality. So, and I just don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah. And when I look closer, Don, into that, you can see the picture that he flipped the camera over, and he can see what he sees
Mhm.
in the view. I can see he's zooming or something, babe, because it looks like you can only see the top of the table.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
see. So I think we talked about this when we did the tech table. I think he already set it to
Very
that
strange.
cropped vision, like cropped. Like I
That's
don't know
possible.
what Muppet thinks, but I think they already did that.
Well, maybe, or like, that's normal when framing a camera. Like I've done that hundreds of times in my career. You rig the camera, and then you just frame it in. It's kind of hard to tell what the framing is.
Well, why is he doing anything
if
he's just trying to take down the camera or take down the? I don't understand why he's doing anything.
No, he's not taking down the camera here. This is Philip
oh,
Goldsberry
okay.
setting up.
Okay,
sorry.
The other one was
sorry.
yeah. This is the setup. Sorry, I didn't explain. So that's Philip Goldsberry setting up the camera that day, and the other one was the aftermath of them taking it down.
Goldsberry's the gentleman that put the mic, the Rode mic or the wireless mic on Charlie underneath his shirt.
Right.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Suspicious
Correct.
mic. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we go. Have we seen this one?
People stealing
Hold on.
hats.
Yeah, we've seen that one.
not
You can
getting
play the
that.
other one.
And the
Okay.
other one is a video.
All right.
This one here.
Let Muppet.
Oh, yeah,
are you
this is
there,
good.
Muppet? Explain this, Muppets. It's fabulous.
Great video, Muppet.
Yeah. This one came from a secret source who risked a little bit and actually climbed onto the roof of the Losi building and went over to where the supposed sniper nest was and had a really good view. And it actually shows on the edge that there's at least a 5-inch lip or 4 to 5 inch lip on the edge of the building. And from everybody's calculations, you would have to have your barrel rested up on that lip to get the angle and the trajectory to actually take a shot at Charlie. And that's not what we see. From the videos they show us, he's well back from the edge and there is no line of sight, where I'm totally convinced. And that video proves it for me and a lot of other people as well. So
You want to play
the
it?
citizen,
Can you play it? We can
yeah, play it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so the citizen journalist has gone to the extreme.
Hope you all appreciate the lengths we've gone to try and get to the facts and the truth in this Charlie Kirk investigation. The person doing this is risking a little bit. Gives you an idea how big those rocks are on that first level. So this is where the screwdriver was found, apparently later on after they removed it out of the bush. This goes on to the second level. He was more to the left of this, but we'll get there in a minute. So this gravel here is apparently very tightly compact, doesn't leave footprints. That's the ledge. And moving over towards where he would have been lying in a prone position. Around about here. You can see the courtyard straight down there. Everybody on that Hall of Flags rooftop walkway would have seen him. That's how high the lip is.
So there, you were talking about the lip, right? Is this the potential part where the shooter was?
Yeah, that's supposed to be where he is, and he's supposed to be a few feet back, lying in a prone position, and you can just see the angle. He'd be looking at that lip. If he just was prone where he is and took a shot, he's either hitting that lip or he's going to shoot out in the lake somewhere. There was no line of sight.
Right. I'll just let it keep going.
Lip. There's no other way around it.
There's even like
That's
Muppet.
it.
There's a pole. There's so much in the way. Do you see how many poles are in the way?
Yeah.
Yep.
With-
Like,
And the
with
trees.
light?
And the trees were bushy back in September as well. So Got a lot more
Yeah.
green foliage on those trees.
This
We
is
would've
amazing,
had-
Muppet, that you got this.
And you can see how tall the lip is. And then they're out of here before they get arrested. And they're not jumping off the roof.
They're not going to jump off the roof. So there is an easier way to get off the roof, correct?
Thank you very much for getting this video.
Yeah,
Is
you
there-
just climb back
and
down the
there's
way you
gate.
climbed up.
I see the gate
Yep.
there in the distance there, where some people stand to take photos sometimes. But I guess there's an easier way to get up on the roof than jumping off.
Yep,
Well,
they
there's the stairway.
literally just went around the little fence that they put up. Yeah, I still don't know why the suspect jumped off the roof. He risked a hell of a lot jumping off that roof. He had to sprain his ankle or broken an ankle. He's done, and he could have just
Or
run
bust
back
a
down
eye.
the stairs. Yeah, he
His
could have just run
knees-
back down the stairs where he came from.
His knees hit his
Hey.
face, Muppet. His
Yeah.
knees when he fell hit his face.
Yeah,
Hey
if you
Don,
slow
I
down-
have an image of the side view of the person who was on the roof, so you can see how far back he was from that lip, and
Oh, nice.
he didn't move any closer. I don't know if you could share that for
Yeah,
the
let's
class,
see.
Don.
We have okay, let me see
Yeah,
which
that-
one that's there. Is this one? Let's see.
That'll be great because that ties in with exactly what Muppet was saying about the distance back
Absolutely.
from the ledge, the height that you would need, the angle that you would need.
No, that's not it. Let me see. I can find this.
That's not it. No, I can remove.
It's
that.
a build. You'll see side views of buildings, and then it's going to zoom in when I play it.
Okay, I'm looking at what I have here. Oh, wait, I have to move the other one. Hold on. Let me move this first. It's not letting me do it, so I'll remove this. Okay, remove that. Remove that. Remove that. We had two of those for some reason.
I can remove it.
All right.
I can remove.
Okay,
There you
that-
go. Now
Okay,
try.
okay.
Now try.
Okay, now. That, okay. Hopefully that's it. Is that it, Steve?
It's in the share screen.
Is this it? It's on the screen now. Is that it?
Yeah, that's the
No,
one.
that was Muppet's video. Here it is, right there. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
That's it, yeah.
I'm looking at two different screens. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. Sorry,
This is
guys.
it. This is it. Yeah.
We're high tech here. Sorry, in the Steve Cameron household. Okay, so I'm going to mute this, but let me set this up. The video is somebody at UVU, I guess, maybe a minute before the shooting or Big Bang, whatever you want to call it. He, according to his story, he noticed somebody up on the roof doing military maneuvers, dressed all in black. So he pulled out his phone and he started recording. I don't think there's going to be audio for this, but I'll just let the video play. So he zooms in. And so you see that figure here. Can you see my cursor over the, I don't know if that'll
Yep.
show on the screen.
Yeah,
I'm circling him right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we can see.
So that's the person that is on the roof. And with the other video that Candace Owens dropped about 3 weeks ago, of a person doing military maneuvers on the roof, once he gets in this position that you're looking at right here, he never gets closer. So once he gets down into that prone position, he does not get closer. And the rifle itself, the one that was found in the woods, was about a 4-foot rifle. And this person that is laying here, if you look under, like below, there's a window that's stretched here underneath. You can see the framing of it. This measures 7 feet long.
That is so good, Steve.
Okay.
Wow.
So thank you. And so you can see the person's head. That's his head right there where the tip of my cursor is. I mean, he's got to be at least from what I'm looking at, 5 feet back.
Can we get a
And if there
measurement
was-
of from that window, from that black window to the edge? That would be great.
I can't really do that on the fly, but yeah, I mean, anybody wants to take a screen grab and do it. This window below is 7 feet long, and that's what I'm told. Other researchers that have looked.
I can get the exact measurements of that. I've got the blueprints of that building I can measure that
Oh,
exact
oh,
wall
fantastic.
and
Okay.
the gap from the edge to the window. I
And so if he's
could do that.
So if he's got a 4-foot rifle, you would think that the stock is like, below his head. So I mean, maybe he's got 2 feet of the rifle sticking out in front of his head. And that looks like a good distance of about 5 feet from the lip that Muppet was showing from his source, that showed that there was probably a 4 to 5 inch lip that they would have had to rest the barrel of the gun on. He doesn't even look like he's close enough to do that. And because the person that recorded this video said after he stopped recording, the bang happened, like pretty much right after. He didn't record any shots or anything.
Yeah.
And then from that, you need a 9-degree downward trajectory from there to hit Charlie.
Yes. So where he's placed, and he does not move any farther up. And according to, if you look at Candace's video, once he gets down in that position, he does not move forward. And that coincides with this person who recorded this video. That's where supposedly the shot was taken from. I don't think he had line of sight or line of angle at all.
It would have been tough.
But
it's a lot harder shot than what they're making it sound like. They sound like a guy with no skill, no training, no nothing, ran up there, jumped down, took the perfect shot through obstacles and got away with it. And it's not that easy of a shot. Even if you were trained, it would still be a tough shot. So I don't get all that.
Yeah.
And then
that's very good.
I have, thank you. I know everybody here has probably seen this stuff, but a lot of people in the chat and Don's audience probably hasn't had a look at it. But I do have what I just referenced, the video. Have you seen this, Don? I don't know if you've had a chance to see this or not.
Which one?
Let me see. Let me share this real quick here. 1 second. This is the video that Candace aired. Here it is right here. Let me share it. So this is her. There's no sound to this, so we can talk over it if you want to.
Yeah.
But whenever you're ready to share that, what I have up now.
Yeah, it's up there.
So this is what Candace shared. Her source, I guess has been holding on to this since last October. There he is. Now, to me, he looks like he's got a poncho on, and he's running through there. And now he's going to go down, and he's going to do a lateral crawl. This is a military maneuver. There's examples of this, of soldiers doing this maneuver.
So why does he go that way and then goes that way?
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Why does he lateral crawl that way and then lateral crawl the other way?
Yeah, I understand what he's doing.
And look at that sign in the background. It's way too close. That's just my opinion. The background doesn't make sense for me.
So once he does get in that prone position, though, he doesn't move any further forward. So, like, once he's there, and then supposedly I don't see any recoil. I don't see a weapon. If we want to believe that this video is real, I don't see. I don't see any weapon.
It certainly doesn't. It doesn't identify Tyler Robinson. Isn't that the claim that's definitely him?
Well, Benny Johnson came out and said it was in 4K, and it's clearly Tyler Robinson taking the shot.
Who else could it be? Yeah, you can definitely tell.
And there he goes.
Yeah. Wow.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael Scissorhands. I appreciate it. UIY says,
that's Mike V. That's Mike V. He's the one that put out those pictures of the SUV. I had him on my show.
Oh, wow.
He is the one that had the license plate for the vehicle that Charlie was in. And
gave it to Candace.
Yeah, gave it to Candace, and I had him on my show. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have known it was auctioned and all that stuff. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. You guys are doing this. It's very much like the JFK assassination. You just average people are doing all this research, are doing this investigative reporting, because there's not a single journalist, with the exception of Candace, and if you want to call Barron, can't read, but he's another podcaster. He's not really, there's nobody with any newspapers doing it. Nobody's any television network. is doing it. And that's just the way it was back then, the way it is all the times.
It's just something's not right. Something's not right.
Yeah,
and
well,
I can't
it's
let
just,
it go. Like,
yeah, it's
I think
obvious
that
that
Muppet
they're,
feels the same way. Like, I just can't let it go. Ever since I saw what they were doing behind that table, those security guards, that did it for me. And I know Muppets, like, the 30-06. It was everything. And yeah. And now they're trying to stop us from discourse and dialogue, talking about it. It's becoming like that on Spaces now. So it just means that we're over target and we're doing, the Lord's work.
absolutely.
I don't know what you want to
Because
call it.
it's gonna make it harder for them to do what they normally do, and that is sweep this under the rug and just have a show trial that isn't televised, and have a ordained conclusion. Have a defense team that doesn't do its job, because there's so many people like you guys out there that have raised these questions and are anticipating something. So whoever they have as a defense attorney is going to come out. I mean, maybe they don't care at this point, but I just think it would be nice if we'd hear from Tyler's family. So maybe we will. And I again, the fact that Candace Owens, I don't know why she's not involved in some way, because nobody has done more to expose these questions than her. And if it was my family, I would want her, hey, come on and work with us. Work with the defense team. You can give them advice, but she hasn't had any contact with them, has she?
I don't know. Like, that's something that maybe she can't speak about, but she did say she had a source, or she's talked to somebody within the family. But
yeah, for the rest, no idea.
She's getting,
it'll just be speculation.
She's getting sued everywhere she goes, like every corner, So, and we need her. We seriously need her. Because
where do you guys stand?
We put out information. She sees it on X and she shares it. So that is important, because there's stuff that she hasn't seen, or there's so much stuff she hasn't even like today. Like, she didn't know who's that guy driving in the UVU. Who drove Charlie into UVU? Who is that security guard? We've identified everybody else. Who is that guy? So finally, after all these months, she's on it. I'm like, oh, it's about time.
Yeah,
time. She'll figure it out.
I was happy to see that, because both Muppet and Alley have been banging their heads against the wall to try to find the guy, and we were so close a couple times. Like, we thought we had him.
Yeah.
And then it just fell apart, and then we couldn't share that. It's not accurate. So it's like, okay, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, we had some guys that looked like him, and we were just like, no, I said that guy's too short. This guy looks taller. No, they don't want to put out misinformation, right?
Got to be sure.
That guy actually reached out to me and said, that's not me, so don't post that.
Where does everybody stand on the defense? I mean, I'd like to hear your opinion. I'll give you mine. I think they're in on it. That's my opinion.
I thought that from the beginning. But the last couple court hearings, I was just like, yes. And then I'm just like 50-50 now. I have no idea until I hear more.
I personally think there's something weird going on in general with the defense, because like when you listen to some people question, it's just garbage. It's leading nowhere. It's like, are you just saying this to hear yourself speak? And then that one attorney, and I think everyone sort of talked about her, is Nestor, who actually sort of asked some of the more difficult questions. So it's weird. Like, I'm getting like this weird 50-50 thing where it seems like half the people allegedly might be in on it, and then you have somebody who looks like they're actually not afraid to ask relevant questions. So for me, I don't even know what to think, Steve, to be honest. Like, I think I'm 50-50 on it. Like,
the rifle's in Quantico, and so is Tyler Robinson's cell phone. Why? What about Charlie's cell phone?
Yeah,
I feel like they gave Nestor
that you keep into evidence. And I had a debate with Andrew Wilson actually on a space, and he was really rude to me. And he goes, "So what? She can take his phone.
Right. So what? So what?
So what? Are you making a claim?
I really feel like they gave Nestor the hook after she revealed that FBI State Bureau of Investigation agent David Hall, she got him to admit that the Nobles ring cam, Mrs. Noble said there was a bald man driving the car with 3 other people in it. And then all the cross-examination went away. There was no more cross-examination. Nestor, she did not come out and cross
I think she's
Agent Davis.
Maybe she's saving it. Maybe
I mean,
she's
they had
trial.
Davis. They had Davis on the stand. All she had to do was pull out his own charging documents, stating that, Tyler. It said it right. It said it right in the document that
me and Muppet
Tyler
did
Robinson.
A whole thing on. Me and Muppet did a whole live stream on even just Judge Graff alone, and he could tell you how he was brought into this. He does cases on SA. He doesn't. This is his first murder case. I mean, and he was put in May. Oh wow, how convenient! May 2026. He was voted in, right, Muppet? This is all weird.
And it was the people that he was up against to get that position. He was pretty much the least qualified, and they still granted him the position.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty sketchy. As far as the legal defense so far, I'm going to give him a little bit of grace and wait for the trial. I suspect that they knew this was going to go to trial no matter what they showed in the prelim, and they've just done the absolute bare minimum to show that they are a defense team. And if they don't blow this out of the water at trial, then 100% they're involved and they're in on it. I'm a farmer from Queensland, and I reckon I could get Tyler off at trial just with the evidence. Well, the biggest thing we've got is they've tampered with evidence. The evidence they showed in the court with the parking lot footage of the supposed suspect has been flipped and mirrored.
Yep.
I have that for you guys. If you guys want to look at it, I have it.
Sure.
How is that not tampering with evidence?
A minute 16 missing out of the footage. That's one of the things when I went on to Stu Peters.
You want to show that now? Should we show that now? Let's show Stu's footage. There you go.
Black mark on the hand.
Okay, so what everybody is looking at here now. One second. Start. Okay. Let me pause. Okay, let me turn that down. And we'll go
That's
back
the clear footage of Tyler Robinson, right?
So
Obviously,
what everybody is looking at here now, this isn't my discovery. The person who I really think discovered it was a Fed slopper by the name of Gray Hughes. In early July, he actually went to UVU campus and he filmed the stairway. He retraced the steps. And then when he got home, he was going through the footage and he was trying to present it for his live stream. And he's like, something's wrong here. And then he realized that this footage that everybody's looking at right here, this is supposed to be Tyler Robinson at the bottom of the stairs. This image has been flipped. So everybody that's gone to UVU and retraced the steps, all of their footage is flipped. Like the downstairs should be on the left side and the upstairs should be on the right side.
Wow.
And they even changed this timestamp on the top to read properly. Because if this was correct and it was flipped, it would be reading backwards, right? So like what you're looking at now, because this is flipped, these words, this should all be reading backwards. But they actually went to the trouble of correcting it and putting it frontwards so it reads properly.
Wow.
This is what was shown in court.
This is
the court
tampering with evidence. This is literally.
Yes. And just to Muppet's point, like what's going on with this? Why? I mean, does the defense even know this? And if they do, did they allow the prosecution to present footage that does not represent the truth? This image is flipped. It should be thrown out, and they need to explain why they did it. But other researchers, Diligent Denizen, after this all came out, he went back to UVU and he retraced it and he refilmed it and he proved that this is the exact stairwell that this person here is. He's like, if you look at this, if I were to let this play, I can't because this is just an image. He would walk out to the right, but in reality, he's really walking out to the left. And where they put here parking level 2, it's really parking level 3 that the camera is on. So the camera is really on parking level 3, and where this person is standing, who is supposed to be Tyler Robinson, is standing on parking level 2 on the bottom.
And I'd suggest they've done that because you can tell if he's left or right-handed, or he may have started limping on the wrong foot. So they seen him do that a couple of times where he forgets to limp, or he's limping on the wrong foot. There's all sorts of holes that we've found. So yeah, with the trial evidence, they should be able to blow this out of the water at trial.
I have this video right here that Allie had just mentioned earlier, and also Muppet, I believe you were talking about this.
That's the
this
one.
is so everybody here watching, we've all probably seen this. I don't know if you've seen this, Don. They played this in court, and originally, I think it was was it Nestor, one of the defense attorneys, were objecting to some rooftop footage that the prosecution wanted to use that had like circles and arrows pointing to who they believed was Tyler Robinson on the roof, and they were objecting to that. I don't believe they made any objections to this edit. So I'm gonna play this, and you're gonna see this white SUV right here that I'm circling. This is supposed to be Tyler Robinson at the top of the stairs, getting ready to enter the tunnel to walk over to UVU. And he also is supposed to have a 4-foot rifle shoved down his skinny jeans. Okay.
We found that a minute 16 minute missing.
Yes.
Clip. Yes.
Did you guys discover this? This is amazing. So what you're gonna see, this SUV is gonna go down the road, and it's gonna be like magic. It's just gonna disappear. So I'm gonna play it. Here we go. 1 second. Let me forward this a little bit. Just so
and once again, they look like micro machines.
Okay, here it goes.
It's all compressed up.
So watch it. Yeah, it is. Yep, all compressed.
And poof.
Abracadabra.
God.
It just disappears.
That's when the timestamp at the top of the left-hand screen, we were watching this live on court, and I clipped it and put it out, and Baron shouted me out for that, because our people in the chat, everybody was helping, saying, where'd the minute go? Got cut off. It goes from, in the left-hand corner, you'll see it'll just completely, the time just fast forwards. So why did they take the minute 16 out?
That's right. And they spent hours and hours and hours. They spent hours, in court. Why would they take a minute and 16 out to not show what's going on here in that minute and 16 seconds they don't want us to see? So why the defense didn't? It's like stuff like this, when the defense isn't objecting to it or asking questions about it, or at least holding a sidebar, that makes me think they're in on it. I mean, I'm sorry. It just does,
how did the defense team not see this? That's my question.
Exactly.
How did they not see this?
Exactly.
Well, with the stairwell footage, I'd assume that Kathy Nestor had walked up those stairs, so I don't think she's ever seen them. I don't think she could walk up those stairs.
Well, they need to hire us, Muppet.
Well, that's the whole point. They have people like you guys that know the information. How does the defense team not? They should have people like that as advisors to the defense team. The defense team in the preliminary hearing, they didn't cross-examine the cop about the face sheet, that the booking sheet when he was booked, and then 2 hours later that you have the social media thing saying I did it, where he couldn't have done that. How do you not cross-examine him about that? Well, they're going to wait till the regular trial. Well, I don't know why you couldn't cross-examine him there, but that gave me very little confidence in his defense team.
Yeah, if they don't bring this up in the next hearing, I'll be shocked. And even the 2 backpacks, now possibly 4. And shout out to Tornado Alley, because I work with her. I brought her on my show a couple times. That parking garage could possibly be owned by the LDS Church, the underground. So who owns the camera footage? Something that we need to look into. Absolutely, definitely. Just to continue this video, and then I'll be done with it because it ends.
there's another SUV that comes out of here after they clipped all that time. And then when that SUV, it looks like they're, you know, we can't see. I really believe there's more. I believe this was all cropped out. There's probably a lot more, you know, footage here. This is totally doctored, in my opinion.
He looks skinny. It's compressed.
It's compressed. All these cars are shrunk up. They look like Matchbox cars. And then you're going to see this SUV come in here. It looks like there was some kind of communication here. And then once it dries out, that's when he goes down. And also, you can't really see it from this footage, but close-ups do show that Tyler Robinson has a cell phone in his right hand. And there's also a cell phone in his right pocket. You can see the imprint. So it appears that he has two phones. Not a rifle.
Not a rifle.
No, definitely. Here's the SUV. It's going to drive out right around the corner. There it goes. As soon as it goes, then he goes down. Now I have a question for you, Muppet. You've been alluding to some things on your X page, and you can talk about this if you want to, and if you don't want to, I completely understand. But is this you were dropping some hints that there might be some license plate camera footage coming out?
Yeah,
is that what I'm?
We're still trying to actually get the actual license plate of the car, but there's license plate reader cameras, a permanent one at the end of Campus Drive in the library. And it reads every single license plate that drives up that road. And a paid account, I'm pretty confident that we can go back and look at historical data. So we're working on that. And the actual footage from the 360-degree camera that Candace showed, where we're hoping that we can get back and look at that actual footage. And I can tell you now, it's all 4K quality. Every single camera in that university is a 4K camera. It has facial recognition capabilities. As I said, they got the license plate readers at the end of the road and in the car park. And they actually have it runs through a management system, and it can track a change in someone's gait. It can pick up identifying features, freckles, moles, tattoos. It will alert them if there is a gun that has been brandished on the camera. It has all the latest features, and yeah, we've got partial access at the moment. So.
Thanks for letting us know about that, because that is really, really piquing my interest. Those posts that you made. So I think you might have some people really frightened right about now, if that were to come out.
They should be frightened, because we can prove that they've tampered with the footage that they've supplied in court. And then the police officers themselves, under oath, saying that footage they believe it's legit, and they believe that's Tyler and all the garbage that they went on with. So it's got the potential to just blow the entire thing out of the water. So it's something that we're working on.
Can you get the defense team interested? That's the problem. Twisted Pistol asked in the chat room, this is a very good question. What has happened in so many of these cases, what are all of you going to think or do if Tyler Robinson suddenly makes a plea deal? That's what I'm afraid of, because it happens all too often. I mean, you still want to research this and expose the truth, but then it's kind of for naught, isn't it? Because, you know, the one who's is going to benefit from it is making a plea deal. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I guess like my thoughts would be, how much does Tyler actually know? Does he know what's been going on the internet? Probably not, right? He may not realize how many people are actually looking into this. He might be terrified and do what he has to save his life. Never know. And would you honestly blame the guy for that? If it looked overwhelmingly against you because that's the narrative that's going to be thrown in his face. He's probably not going to have access to the internet to realize that there's millions of people around the entire world that are trying to solve this. So it all depends. They could use just that isolation of him in jail as manipulation to even push him for a confession, for all we know.
Well, when you think that
That's
somebody
my
in his family, though, is because I mean, again, this is of great interest to them. Even if Erica Kirk obviously doesn't care who killed her husband, apparently, but if you people in his family or this, wouldn't you think they'd be interested in this? They had to have heard something. They had to have heard of Candace Owens and know that she's questioning some of this stuff. I would think that they might be watching this podcast. You know, I mean, you think that they would be trying to keep up with it, and then they would tell him, "Hey, Tyler, there's a lot of doubt. You have hope, and then certainly tell his defense attorneys." But I see what you're saying, but I don't know. Does anybody think that?
Well, it's hard to tell on the surface of like what we're seeing, as spectators, like what is really going on behind the scenes. I mean, the guy's been in there for what? It'll be a year and what, less than a month, a couple more weeks. He's been in there for a year. So I don't know. Maybe he's like at this point he's going to stick it out. I don't know. Like how far do you think we're away from an actual trial beginning? I mean, could that take another
2028?
2027,
wow,
something like that.
Yeah. And the other
Frank Turek said 2028, summer of 2028.
Wow.
That's what Frank Turek said.
It gives you guys plenty of time to create a more reasonable doubt. But what if they do their other thing? They could easily. Hold on a second. I'm looking to see what somebody said here. If they decide to, the defense, I think that's what they did with the Boston bombing and other cases where the defense turns into, okay, we're gonna try to take the death penalty off the table and save his life, and that's all. And that becomes their defense. That's what I'm afraid of, that they're not going to fight this when they have tons of reason to do it, but not cross-examining him on the booking time, which that alone proves that somebody,
yes,
at the very least, a practical joke, but but somebody was impersonating him online and saying, "I did it."
Mm-hmm.
That that opens up a whole can of worms. How can you not go after that? Who did that? Was it his roommate or was somebody else?
Yeah, and they went to recess right after that. Right after Agent Davis got on the stand and said all that bull crap, pardon my French. And that's my opinion. I think Agent Brian Davis is a big fat liar. And Agent Davis gave me a call there. No, I hope it wasn't. But why wouldn't they spend at least a minute saying, Agent Davis, you said that you made the arrest at 10 p.m. I mean, how were you able to travel from Provo, Utah to, down to St. George in that time? And when did you hear that Tyler was arrested? When did you hear Tyler had actually turned himself in? Why does your own document say that you were?
Sorry, I think they needed to go to trial. If it gets dropped during the prelim and it doesn't get to trial, there's always a possibility they could find new evidence and charge him again or charge him with a similar crime. If it gets to trial and he gets exonerated, then he's got double jeopardy protection and he can never, ever be tried again.
Yep.
I'm hoping that's the main reason why they're happy for it to go to trial, because they know that they can get him exonerated and that'll be the end of it forever. He can't be charged again.
Okay. Then again, though, if he comes out and takes a guilty, takes a deal, what are you going to say? I mean, will you still have that opinion, or at that point, are you going to say no? The defense was in on it? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. If they convince him to take a plea deal, then I can't see that they have to be in on it. As far as I'm concerned. But
if we can see this evidence, somebody on the defense team's probably watching Candace Owens, I would think, or they have to be aware of this stuff, and they have to know. Well, God, we have there's a huge. I mean, they don't know the crime scenes. I don't think that was mentioned at the preliminary hearing. The crime scene being paved over, was it? That's a huge thing, and the limousine being sold within a month of
So
it.
much
Those are
stuff.
very
Yeah.
telling.
Oh,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Just
There's a
things.
there's a question in the comments by was it Brian and Debbie? They were asking where are flock cameras when you need them. Didn't
Yeah.
that Muppet? Didn't that area like pretty much from Panguitch to UVU and to St. George? Weren't there flock cameras everywhere? Like,
Yeah, I was looking at that today. Yep, the flock cameras started rolling out in Utah around 2020. 23, they installed 23 flock cameras in Provo. And part of that flock is it's a system called Flock Raven, which is the gunshot detection microphones that are also built into them. So if a gunshot goes off in public, they can use these microphones to detect what direction the gunshot came from. But not all flock cameras have it. It's a separate system called Flock Raven. And I'm trying to find out if there's one of those close to UVU. It may have picked up the sound and can give a direction of where that sound came from. But there's definitely flock cameras around that area. Yeah, you can look at the flock camera map.
What Muppet was saying about the flock cameras that also have mics that can record. I recently found a model that is actually mobile. So what it has is a directional camera, a 360 camera, and a 360 microphone. And they're literally put up on almost like a thing that you would tow a boat with. Only the cameras, the whole system is built on that. So they could drive it up, drop it somewhere, use it, and then pick it up and bail with it after. And it has 360 camera, 360 microphone, and a manually operated camera from a remote location. So they could have dropped something there and taken it away, and we wouldn't have known. And I'm not saying that that happened. I don't know, but I just know that that exists, and it's a real world option.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we're getting it. If you guys are ready, I know there's something that, and again, my chat room reflects what happens is the result of all this. These things where questions are raised by citizens like you guys, not acknowledged by the media, who continue to say overwhelming evidence in these cases, which is obviously ridiculous, is that you have people believing that think that it's all fake. It doesn't happen. That Tyler Robinson's in on it, like Timothy McVeigh was in on it, and all. And you know there are reasons to believe that, but the problem is every time one of these things happens, and if this goes the way of all the others, where he's found guilty despite all, and you know, Muppet, I'd love to think that he could be exonerated, but if he did, that would be a cannon fired around the world, because that has never happened in any. I mean, maybe OJ, but I don't. I think he was guilty, obviously, but it never happens when if they're charged with something, an assassination or high-profile political case, the narrative always wins out, no matter how ridiculous it is. It's always because they don't have a defense. But I wanted to say before I'm going to put the link in the chat so anybody wants to jump on and ask questions, because there are people in here that may be questioning some of the stuff we're saying. Somebody in the chat mentioned about the invitation. I'm sorry, any of you that got the invitation to a non-existent party, somebody hacked my email again and sent it out to a bunch of contacts. So if you get it, you know, sorry about that. Wow. I'm not giving an invitation where people all around the world can come. So it was a, don't open it. It was unfortunately, another virus. So I'm going to put this link into the chat, and anybody who wants to jump in, be kind, because I know, you know, some people we have extreme views, as I do sometimes. So, but I'm sure the experts here would love to take your questions.
Be respectful.
Yes, be respectful. Understand? Because none of us, you know, none of us know. I don't pretend to know a lot of this stuff. So I have no problem with people saying things are fake or everybody's in on it, because I think there's a lot of fake stuff, and you're being lied to all the time. So we know that what they're saying is a lie. Now we got to try to figure out, okay, what actually happened. And that's the hard part. And that's, you know, and unfortunately we never get a chance to, because these narratives that happen that, you know, they're not worked out in court, but this holds the potential of at least having a trial. So even if they go to trial, and if we see the defense doing an inadequate job, which looks like they might do, and the jury nonsensically convicts him when there's obviously should be reasonable doubt at the least, then that opens more people's eyes, don't you think? That more people will see the system obviously doesn't work because they saw watching the television. Well, how did they vote him guilty? Most people don't get a chance to do that. Do you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And I agree. This would be one of the first really big high-profile case that a suspect was exonerated. And
Incredible.
I can, at the moment, it may be false hope, but that's pretty much the only hope that we can go with, that there is going to be some kind of defense put up, and it's going to be robust. And it's, as we said before, it's going to be probably a couple of years before we get there. And yeah, it may all be futile in the end. All our efforts may be completely futile, and they might get their guilty verdict. And if that's the case, then so be it. But
and we have,
as far as I'm concerned,
independent
the days of
going down there. We have them going down there and covering this stuff, sleeping on the concrete and getting into the courtroom. Like, this is, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I really haven't. It's just, we're all in, we don't need to fight now. We should all come together and unite and have that dialogue and keep talking about this. I do the court thing all the time. I run it for it's 8 hours sometimes. And I'm watching every little thing, and the chat helps me. A lot of, other researchers come in the chat and say, oh, this is weird. This is weird. We pause, we review. And this is what we need to do. We need to review what they're talking about in court, because they're not showing the video of Charlie getting hit or the road mic. I'm going on what they're showing in court now, because I'm trying to focus on that. And because we know Tyler Robinson didn't do it. So that's what I'm trying to focus on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's not clear, Don. It's not. How do we know that's him? We just don't.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's why I say it's ridiculous, but that's why I say a good defense team. We need, I know Perry Mason only existed on TV, but, somebody like that would raise some real questions. And we have the fighting Canadian RB Ham here, who was he was part of the Canadian convoy up there, one of the courageous truckers. Good to see you, RB. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I just got off work. I worked the day shift today, 7:30 to 4, so I got to catch the last little bit of your show while I was finishing up at work and hauling some product from one warehouse to another. So good to get in here. But yeah, I was mentioning from my vast experience of hauling these cases, especially I correlated this a lot to the Timothy McVeigh thing. Now, there is a chance that Tyler Robinson was working with a CIA program. He is a patsy, right? He was what's the word I'm looking for? He maybe applied to be a CIA guy. He was a young idealistic guy, believed in all this stuff. And they said, well, we got an assignment for you. You're going to do this. You're going to infiltrate this Antifa movement, these bunch of these trans furry people, and we want you to be in on it. And then at the last minute, they pull the rug from out him, and he's the patsy, but he's still with the CIA, still on the program, like McVeigh. So now his new assignment is to just suck it all up and to go along with the program. And then when like McVeigh was found guilty, and then they gave him the death penalty. Remember how he escaped the death penalty? John Ashcroft got in to see him, to one-on-one with no cameras around or nobody to talk to him, and then they faked the execution where he's actually breathing after the supposed execution.
Well, that's what they said. But McVeigh was a perfect example of that. And McVeigh, I remember that case scared me so much because I was a subscriber to the Spotlight back then, and they showed the Spotlight in court as if that was evidence that McVeigh had advertised. He had some kind of product that he advertised in the Spotlight. That was their evidence, the case. They were trying to smear people like me back then that were reading this kind of literature before the internet. And McVeigh didn't testify in his own defense.
And there's all the eyewitnesses to the event, talking about 3 or 4 different bombs. There were more than just one. There was no truck bomb. There was actually bombs in the building. News reports are saying, and the bomb people, the bomb recovery people, are removing another bomb from the building. Like, what the? And all that thrown out.
But this, unlike McVeigh and certainly unlike Oswald, who had such an incredible background, defector, and obviously ties to everything, what do we know about Tyler Robinson's background? He doesn't, other than he's an accused furry or transgender, which seems to be maybe be false. What do we know? He was a Trump supporter. He had a gun that he never used. It was an heirloom. What do we know? Does he have any strange connections?
He was an electrician.
Yeah. Okay. So there doesn't seem to be the stuff there that you normally.
His father apparently was a veteran and had ties to the local police force, and that's one of the reasons why he turned himself in, was because his supposedly the dad talked to some cop and said, "Hey, maybe the best way to do this is to turn yourself in so you don't get suicided or whatever, right?" But like McVeigh, if he was in on the program at the start, and then they pulled the patsy routine on him, and now his new assignment is just to go along with it. And who know, I mean, you can't take that off the table, because the way this trial is going, the way the defense is just absolutely fumbling it, the way, and like you're saying, Candace is doing all this great work, and all these other people like Baron Coleman are doing great work. AlleyTop, you're doing great work. Steve, you're doing great work. Muppet in Australia, a guy in Australia is doing all this great work. Why isn't the defense team contacting you people? What is going on?
What do you guys think?
I like to think that it's not a fool's errand, but maybe posting about this every day, I like to think that I'm making a difference, but sometimes it does feel like a fool's errand. But maybe if it wasn't for people like yourself, RB and Don and Allie and Muppet and Chris and countless others, Baron Coleman, Candace, maybe Tyler would have already taken a plea deal. Who knows? Maybe we are making it.
Very true.
I like to think we are.
We got the crime scene, like talking about JFK. Didn't they keep the vehicle? Like, we are shipping it away to a lot, auctioning it off. Why?
Well, they walked
the evidence, Don.
Yeah, well, they scrubbed
inside. They left.
Yeah, well, it's the same kind. They did a little different in JFK. They scrubbed it down and destroyed the evidence, and then they shipped it back to Washington, where they replaced the windshield. So they didn't get rid of it completely, but in this case, they sold it. And you're right, they didn't analyze it. We had the pictures of the stuff on that Candace Owens talked about as piece of the microphone or whatever. But yeah, that should be crucial.
Oh, and put that in a bag. Of course, it's evidence.
And of course, the George Zinn thing. Of course, that was, and all the people in the crowd that were seen celebrating it like it was some kind of act of play went well.
Yeah. And the blonde
RB, did you hear about this? So George Zinn, the warrants just recently came out, and right in the warrant, George Zinn said it was my plan to take. He just came right out and said it. He was like, it was his plan to divert resources to try to catch the real killers. It was his plan. So
he's also had connections to the Boston bombing, of course, right? So there you go, another false flag psyop. And apparently he was one of the people who phoned in on 9/11 and said he saw a plane hit the building.
Yes.
Well, he was doing door knocking for TPUSA apparently in Arizona or Utah. So, and I guess Phil Lyman knew. I don't know. That's what I heard allegedly.
The defense deposing George Zinn and demanding to see where his paychecks are coming from.
Well, do you think they would let you? I mean, because it would be nice when they have the trial. They probably, but I mean, they have to let people. Wouldn't it be great if one of you guys could get inside and report live from the trial? Will any of you attempt that, or do you think they will stop people from doing that?
Well, Brandy and Billy.
Well, there were some people. Yeah.
We've seen that in the past.
Yeah, if they hadn't been, if Brandy and Billy hadn't been in the courtroom, all those influencers that came out and said it was Tyler Robinson in 4K, we saw it in the court. They came out and said, no, that's BS. We were in the court.
That's good.
And that did not happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are lucky that people are still going down and doing that, because Brandy and Billy were there. Teresa Better Life was there. Elizabeth Lane was there. There was a bunch of people that were down there. And I hope if those same individuals don't go, that other people step up, because I think that's actually a very good point you bring up. We got saved by those people being there and being able to witness. So if we don't have somebody this time, what are we going to do? We're just going to eat the fed slop up like it's our last meal?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do?
They had to sleep on the concrete to get into that courtroom because they only allow 14 people in or something like that. So I commend them for doing all that.
And they almost didn't get in. I hear, like, I heard that they were actually being passed over when they should have been allowed in like days previous. But for whatever reason, they were allowed to get in that day when all the quote unquote influencers like Benny Johnson and came out and said that it was Tyler on the roof in 4K.
Right.
So we lucked out.
What you see? Oh no, I'm sorry. Whoops. What are these people? Brian and Deb McCarthy say, what are these people hoping for? So what are you guys hoping? I assume that means these people. What are you guys? I mean, obviously we're hoping for. I'm hoping for an acquittal, right? But I mean, what is your hope?
I'm just hoping
beyond reasonable doubt. Beyond reasonable doubt. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm just looking for transparency. If it's undeniable that he's there, then show us images where we can actually identify him. Something where he's not wearing glasses, like show us some more really good evidence. Like, that's all I want. I want the truth. And if Tyler did it, well, then he should go down for it. But if he didn't do it, he should not go down for it. And that's just where I'm at. I just want to see the evidence, and I want to see it clearly. And just like Muppet said, beyond reasonable doubt, show me that, and then my mouth will be shut, and I'll report on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many people out there right now who, right at the start, they bought into it. Oh yeah, some crazy left winger did it, right, and would be more than happy to go back to that position if they were shown the evidence that was so. But because of all the other strange anomalies, even people who want to believe, who were TPUSA adherents, who loved Charlie Kirk, are not going to go back to that former position now that all this is out in the open. I mean, it's got to be a very, very tiny minority of people on the payroll or complete cult members that are actually believing the official story at this point. It's got to be so minuscule. It's ridiculous. It's as minuscule as the people who still support Israel. If it wasn't for all the paid influencers online, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. And that Twisted Piskal asked, what do the guests think about Tyler? Again, we hear so much stuff about Tyler being talked down from suicide by his mom and dad, according to the court documents. Is there any basis to that, or is that actually in the court documents?
I never even heard
that's
that.
In the chart, is it? Yeah, I don't. That's a rumor, I think. I don't even know if that's in the charging document, to be honest. But there's no. Seriously, there's no signed statements by the parents saying that. At least that hasn't been presented to anybody.
The parents haven't talked at all.
Public.
So
no.
Hopefully we can get them on the stand. I mean, look at Lance Twiggs, and I like how they flip it. Blake Neff says that. We have Lance Twiggs saying he was there. No, Lance Twiggs didn't say that. He said he can't 100% identify if that's Tyler Robinson or not.
He just said it looks like him. That's all he said. It might be him. It might be him. That's what he said. And then they asked Lance Twiggs. They asked Lance Twiggs, did he ever talk about Charlie Kirk? And he said he hardly ever talked about him. And there was no questions about, are you really a trans furry, Lance? They didn't ask him that question. He sure didn't look like one when in the court deposition. He was up in that tie. He had a deeper voice than Don has.
Who doesn't?
And he was given an immunity deal to say what he did say. Yeah. And it was recorded on video, and I believe there were even edits in that pre-recorded statements that he was making. And it wasn't even his original statements, because they had put him on tape, I guess, on 9/12, I think, after everything had happened, after Tyler had been arrested. And they recorded statements from Twiggs then, but that's not what they introduced in court. I believe they brought him back in May.
Oh, and I wanted to bring up another thing. Did you guys see the Jimmy Dore interviewing John Cullen yesterday about the possibility that a drone was the one that took the shot? They found that spent brass.
Oh, casing. I think it was Karen Carpenter mentioned that. If you guys saw John Cullen, I didn't see it.
There was a spent brass casing on top of one of the buildings. Remember, Don? They just said, oh, and they didn't even enter it into evidence. Oh, we don't know how that got there. But his drone theory would subscribe to that, and the fact that there were drones flying all over the place that day, very, very strange.
And you see the question.
There were drones in Butler as well.
Yes.
John Basselin asked, well, why doesn't Candace or Barron fly out to Utah to talk to Tyler's parents or attorney? Yeah, people are asking. There's a lot of skepticism about Candace, especially. And people in my chat or my regulars are skeptical about everybody. They halfway don't even trust me, I don't think. But so they're definitely not going to. Wouldn't you think that Candace is very pregnant now? She couldn't. But I mean, I would think that they would want to be there. When you to try to, what are your thoughts?
I think there's a gag order in place. That's what I've heard. I've heard there's a gag order.
Another thing in these high-profile cases, they always throw in those gag orders so nobody officially
yes, exactly.
discuss anything under fear of penalty. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, how do you get to the truth that way? What about this transparency they keep talking about? Gag orders.
Yeah.
An interesting thing about Lance Twiggs, I don't know if anybody caught this, but I don't know, it was like a week or two ago, Andrew Colvett came out, and he was on the Charlie Kirk show. I could be wrong. But he ended up saying, I recommend everybody go check out Turkey Tom's video about Lance Twiggs.
Yep. Yes.
So now, if you go and look at Turkey Tom's videos about Lance Twiggs, Colvett recommending this makes no sense. In those videos, it says he's a pill popper, he's a drug addict, he's an alcoholic, he's a loose cannon, he's hard to be around. And basically, he is the worst witness you would ever want in this situation. Now, if they're banking everything on this guy, why would Colvett say, go check out the Turkey Tom videos?
He's switching it. He's a second patsy. He's the second backup. He's a backup player.
Exactly. So if they don't nail it to Tyler, we're figuring the only reason why you would discredit your own star witness is if stuff falls apart and you throw him in as the backup.
Yeah, well, the problem is Twiggs got immunity.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, the thing is, though, Twiggs has got immunity now, so I mean, he's safe, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Yeah. Like that, like, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
I know.
Well, I would think a good defense attorney could tear him apart in cross-examination, but will they? I mean, it doesn't, because he appears to have maybe the more interesting background of what we know of it.
Yeah, where's Johnny Cochran when you need him, eh? You got got that brain tumor right after the trial. Hey, out of nowhere, brain tumor.
By the way, I put some drone pictures that I found, and John Cullen responded to my post. So he said, "Great work," because I found one incredible one right above Rick Cutler's head. Now these are smaller ones, but I put them up in the.
They've been caught in so many lies. The one guy at Harpool saying we didn't use drones that day, and then another guy associated with, we had drones in the air. Like, I mean, their cover-up story is just brutally bad too. I mean, there's no professionalism here. But we need better.
Frank Turek changes his story all the time. He says there was drones there.
A defense team would try to, but I just don't sense there because again, they don't want to discredit TPUSA. When they obviously could easily be discredited.
It's too late.
They need to bring those people. That's what the defense team should be doing. But I don't get the sense they're going to do that. I think it will, and I think it's harder if you don't do that.
I think the control is just they fumbled this. They're not as good as the old guard is in setting people up and patsies and informants and all that. So I mean, this is just a cluster F. This whole thing is just unbelievably bad. I mean, Erica Kirk herself trying to take over TPUSA. I mean, nobody believes her. I mean, you can't stand watching her and her fake crying and the handkerchief.
Oh, geez, she's so
It drives people away from their cause. I don't know how they figured they could get away with this. I mean, Erica Kirk, I guess they thought she was the greatest crisis actor in history. But then you look into her past, and she was, the Romanian orphan thing. And how about in 2012 when she was trying out for the beauty pageant, and she says she supports sex workers? There's a Christian. Yeah,
she's a realtor for the Rothschild that financed Epstein, a narrator for CIA training film. I mean, she has a much more interesting background than Lee Harvey Oswald did.
I think so.
All over the place.
Yeah,
but I don't know how they expect people to swallow this shit. But that's why they spend so much money on paid influencers like Benny in the Closet Johnson and all those people, especially Jack Posobiec. This guy.
Oh, God,
how do I mean, you can't pay off the people. I mean, you can have all the bots you want, but you can't buy off the people, and the people aren't standing for it. And I really think there's going to be coming a tipping point right now that they're not going to put up with it anymore. I mean, more and more stuff is coming out, and I do think there's going to be a tipping point where they're just going to lose control of their own script, their own narrative, and it's all going to come flopping down like a bag of onions. But guess what? Tucker and Candace will be there to scoop it up and start a third party and redirect the rage back into the political solution, of course. And guess what? And they'll be backing the vice president, and they'll say, "Oh, that Palantir thing, don't forget it. Don't even think about that. Peter Thiel, come on now, Palantir." And Alex Jones will say, "Yeah, stop worrying about Palantir." I mean, this is going.
Did somebody put up a new screen, Steve?
Oh yeah, I put up a bunch of pictures there.
Okay,
what
yeah,
Erica's doing now.
Yeah, let's see him, and I'll shut up for a while.
Okay, let's
you want to load it.
Okay, let's see. Well, I see this one here.
That is the newest thing that's out. It's a campaign called Save a Seat for Charlie, coming to you in September. Yes, isn't this just?
Are they going to have the tent on display?
We are doing all this work. This is what's happening.
And the grift continues.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a Charlie Kirk effect. So many Bibles were sold. So many. Have you seen this? He's a martyr. He's Abraham of our times. Yes.
They really tried to sell that martyr thing right from the start. And remember all those AI videos of him, flying up to heaven on angels' wings and all that stuff. It was just over the top, and you could see where they wanted to bring this. She's so insincere. I don't think that's why I think a lot of people think she's some kind of crisis actor, because I think you have to work at being that insincere. She is just unbelievable. She's so unconvincing in everything she does. You instantly say, "Oh,"
and really has a lot to do with this.
Remember, she was an aspiring actress, right? And she auditioned for all those things. So she's an actress, is what she is. She wanted
beauty queen.
Yeah, she wanted to be the next Hayden Panettiere, and it didn't work out for her. Well, how did it go for Hayden Panettiere, by the way?
Yeah, she didn't.
Rest in peace,
She's
Hayden.
Front row center now.
So that's not a video, Allie. That's just a picture. It's not a video.
No, it's just a picture. That's the new campaign. He actually said it. Lucas Miles said there's a campaign that they have coming out in September. Save a seat for Charlie. Invite a friend to church and save that seat for Charlie. That's what they're calling it.
I really like their graphic for their Turning Point USA. It's got the arrow going the other way, like they're turning away from the truth. They're turning away.
Or any of these others new ones, or are these all old ones here?
Those are all new too.
Drone pictures.
Those are some drones. So I screen grabbed that from a video.
That's a drone right there.
I think it is.
It sure does look like one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Boy.
Wow.
This one has gotten some scrutiny. I guess you could argue that it's just a really massive bug, but our pushback is always that bugs don't fly with their legs down.
And they don't have, and they usually don't have a radar thing on top. That's that.
John Bray didn't say anything about this. He said everything else was bugs, but when I showed him this, he didn't say nothing. He's like, "Well, I don't know what that is."
Well, that's pretty wild. Okay, so you got that one. How about this one here?
If you saw that Jimmy Dore John Cullen clip when he was talking about why people were saying it was bugs, there's one problem with that. Bugs don't fly that fast. He timed it, and they're going way too fast for a bug.
Is that a close up of the same one, or?
That's a different one. That's a close up of that, and then the next one's from a distance, and I zoomed both in. So if you show the next picture, you'll get a relevance of that's where that came from. Looks like it's wearing a backpack. I never knew bugs wore a backpack like that.
That's a pretty big bug there.
when I was a kid, especially in high school, I studied bugs. I was big into ants, and I kept an ant farm, and I love my dragonflies and all that stuff. And I can tell you that right now, it's no dragonfly. Dragonflies have a huge thorax. I was talking about the previous picture. People saying, "Well, that's wings. Can't you see?" Well, okay, so maybe that's wings, but where's its thorax? Where's its extended thorax? I mean, dragonflies have 8 wings, not 4. Besides,
but for something like that, RB, that if it is a drone, I mean, the casing that was found was a 223. I mean,
Yeah.
Are drones that size known to be able to fire that size of a caliber from
No,
some kind of a weapon?
these were just smaller ones. These were I think the one that John Cullen's referring to was up higher, and he showed the ones from up higher.
Yeah, more like a Reaper type drone, right?
Yeah,
Smaller
because
than a
he
Reaper,
showed something that was actually huge with like a fully automatic assault rifle
Yeah.
configured to it.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
That's intense.
To get down low enough to take that, if we're subscribing to the fact that Charlie was actually shot and wasn't actually just wearing a Chester cast, it was all Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah, well, there's some. And what has Candace given up the exploding mic theory? Because she was pushing that exclusively briefly, and now she's kind of just considers it a possibility.
I never liked that theory because I don't think when you look what the Hezbollah pagers, remember that thing?
Yeah.
It flashes heat, and his shirt would have burned and all that stuff. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
we would tend to agree with that, and that's exactly the reason why so many people bought it, is because of the Hezbollah pager thing. It's a theory. I think personally, my opinion is that whole theory, anything exploding is a psyop that they're selling everybody just because of the Hezbollah pager incident, because they knew everybody would buy it right away. You don't even need to show evidence. We still haven't had anybody with exclusive explosive experience chime in on any exploding theory. Still hasn't happened.
Yeah.
We've had experts chime in on electrocution publicly or fake death publicly. That's the one that nobody wants to come and publicly endorse for whatever reason.
For me, I just need more. Like when I looked at the SUV, the fragments or whatever that Candace is saying is a road mic. There's way too many fragments there to make up one road mic. That is my only issue with that. So, and if they gave us the road mic, this would debunk everything. But what is Philip Goldsberry doing? Give us the road mic.
Well, I think she was. What are the fragments? I mean, what are those things in the SUV that were sold really quickly? So we don't know. But I think however it happened, again, it's very many parallels to the JFK assassination. The trajectory doesn't add up. From where he was allegedly shooting, his head would have gone back in the other direction. It wouldn't have gone the way it went. And obviously with the 30-06, it would have been an exit wound. I don't care how many times they say there wouldn't. It wouldn't have been just a little, and not a whole, especially RB and I did a show back then where we looked at the video of them carrying Charlie to the SUV and there was no pool of blood.
Yeah.
I would think there'd be blood everywhere. So it's very odd. There's so many odd elements to this case, but
well, people say, well, he bled out, so there was no trail of blood left. Yeah, but when he got shot, if he got shot, it wouldn't have been just a little localized thing and then blood.
No, it looked like a dart. That looked like he was hit by a dart or something. Not a huge weapon.
Half his neck would have been gone. There'd have been blood all over his clothes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Blood on their
behind
clothes.
the tent. There would have been an umbrella, umbrella-sized blood spatter on that white tent right behind him. It's ridiculous. They're trying to say it's from a 30-06.
And nothing on the.
That's what I know. It wasn't. It wasn't a 30-06. That's all I know.
Yeah.
There's no evidence for it.
And they didn't have any blood on their clothes. All the people they were carrying them.
Yeah,
I'm what?
Again, that's why I think we start always at the same. Okay, what they're saying happened couldn't have happened. They're lying.
Yeah.
Okay, then we had to. But it's hard for us, to figure out what happened. But we know if they're lying, then something else happened. And that's why, even after all these years, people that say who killed Kennedy, I said, I don't know, but I know it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, and they're lying to you about it. So we can go from there and speculate. But in this case, we know it wasn't this kid. So
I know a guy who believes that JFK wasn't actually shot. It was all
production. There are people
and later he became Jimmy Carter.
Oh yeah. There was, I think Dr. Peter Beater used to think that, and
that's an actual theory out there.
Yeah, that's right. And, there's the people that every president since Carter has been replaced. I remember when Carter was president, Dr. Peter Beater and others thought when he changed the part of his hair, that indicated that he was a duplicate. And, Joe Biden was replaced,
I do believe they all have body doubles and stuff like that, but I don't think they actually replaced.
But the reason this speculation occurs is again because we don't have an honest press, so we're being lied to all the time. So of course, people out here are going to think things. They're going to see something and think. And a lot of these things do seem fake. The school shootings and stuff. There's a lot of element. And when you have, in this case, you had the same kind of witness. You had what was her name? Sarah Ewell, I think she was, the blonde-haired girl that they talked to earlier. She's smiling. Candace showed it. You can't find her interview online.
She said that she witnessed Charlie getting shot in the chest.
Yes, in the chest. And so
Several
right.
yeah, but what got me about her is how she acted like so many of the witnesses in the school shooting case. She was smiling. She looked overjoyed.
Duper's
that's
delight.
not. Yeah, it's like that's like.
And her family works in the dispatch.
Of course, there you go.
The 911 dispatch.
So that's those are the kind of things when you see that you wonder. Okay, well that doesn't make any sense. Why is she
It's very
smiling? That's not
community down there.
Well, it's just like
It's a perfect place to do this. That's for sure.
On 9/11, the
Perfect place.
CIA station head came into the air traffic controllers, took all the tapes and telemetry, and set it on fire and put it in a waste paper basket. After October,
cut it into little pieces, so no one could just reassemble it.
And after the October 7th false flag in Israel, the Gaza Strip, when supposedly Gaza invaded Israel, they invoked the Hannibal Directive, and then the Mossad station chief in that case came in, took all the data and the telemetry and all the video, and it's all vanished.
Well, isn't that? I mean, you guys, Allie and Chris and Steve, Muppet. This is I think the because we're running out of time. I want to give you all each chance to say something else, but that's the secret here is the Zionist connection. That's what 2PUSA and Erica Kirk and the media are desperately trying to stop. And in their mind, what has come in their minds is whether Tyler Robinson was transgender nonsense or whatever. He represents the the theory that it wasn't Zionist, it wasn't Israel. Talk about that a little bit, because that seems to be what they most are trying to avoid and call crazy. Oh, it could not possibly have been them, right?
Yeah, Allie and I believe that's the whole angle for TPUSA. We believe that the offer that we were all told that Charlie turned down for $100 million that was going to take Turning Point to the next level was a lie, because $100 million would do nothing for Turning Point. They make $100 million a year. They've made $500 million to $1 billion since Charlie's passed. $100 million would not take Charlie or Turning Point to the next level. It wouldn't. It would just be a regular year. But if you factor into the fact that while we believe the offer he turned down was Judeo-Christian values, he was leaving the pro-Israel cause. So why would he back that play? Plus, that's the only thing that we can think of that would take Turning Point instantly to the stratosphere. Think about it. We've been doing an article tracking Charlie's international movements, and they're pushing Turning Point chapters everywhere all over the world. I think that would bring in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars worldwide to Turning Point. That not only takes Turning Point to the next level, but takes them to the stratosphere and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
You bet.
That's
Money
our
walks.
take on
TPUSA universe, as Blake Neff would say.
Yes, he did mention that.
He did say that.
TPUSA universe. So that's our take on what the driving factor sort of was, because that's the only thing Turning Point cares about. Erica's out pushing her tours every month, every second month. That's all they care about.
Pastor stuff.
Judeo-Christian values.
That's it.
Rob McCoy just opened up a ministry, and maybe you can throw the screenshot up, but it's defending and protecting Judeo-Christian faith of the West.
Oh, yes. Protect that Schofield Bible education.
Got to slam that Old Testament revenge narrative into our heads constantly.
Exactly.
And Jack Hibbs has put his ministry, the Real Jack Life Network, in Iran. Yeah. So now you can view it in Iran. And I'm like, wait, what? That was July 16th.
And they're using AI translating data centers to transfer it, to translate it into Farsi. So, and not only is it going to Iran, but it's also going to Uzbekistan. And we found that funny. We're in the middle of bombing them, but we want to make sure they can learn about Judeo-Christian values. That's the priority, not stopping the war,
the Judeo
but making
part,
sure they get that.
Yeah.
Especially that's the part. In Iran, there's like 300 churches that were built in the Middle Ages, for crying out loud, and they've got strong Christian communities all throughout Iran.
Absolutely,
they have synagogues in Iran. In fact, Israel bombed one of the synagogues in Tehran.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
I want to give everybody a chance to give closing thoughts. Allie, closing thoughts. Allie, Chris, closing thoughts, and any links you want to give out.
Yeah, you can follow me on AlleyTopFiles everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, and X and TikTok. That's where I am. And I'd like to know. She's had a year now, Erica. Where is Charlie's body? And is she making some kind of museum for it? She's had a year to make all this money. If you're going to put him in a, what do you want to call it? Like a
Graceland?
Like, I don't know what you want to call it. But where is she going to put him? I think we would like to know where his body is.
I'd like to know how
speculation that he's been cremated. I have no idea.
I'd like to know how our kids are doing and if she's been spending quality time with them lately.
Yeah, I'd still like to see their faces because they've never been photographed. Amazingly enough, it's always from behind. So I think I'm the only one noticing that. But Allie, Allie and Chris, you guys are doing great work. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Allie.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Anytime. Steve
Cameron, I brought something to the table today.
Absolutely,
I brought, all of Muppet's videos, so I hope Muppet.
You'll probably be appearing on Candace pretty soon. Steve.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I think without an alive Charlie Kirk, I think there would have been a lot more pushback on this whole situation that's happening in Iran. I don't think Charlie would have been too fond of Trump, the guy that he helped get elected in 2016. Bombing a school full of children, girls. I think there would have been a lot of pushback on that, and I think a lot of this does go back to the original white paper from the Likud party in Israel, Netanyahu's clean break, a new strategy for securing the realm, which evolved into PNAC, a project for a new American century, that they create. Came right out, was right in their paperwork saying that they needed a new Pearl Harbor to be able to do what they wanted to do to implement that plan of a clean break. And I think Iran is pretty much the last piece standing for what Israel is trying to do. And I think Charlie would have pushed back. Anyway, if anybody wants to follow my work on X, I'm at Steve Cameron PR1, Steve Cameron PR1. Please give me a follow over there. And I'm also on YouTube, Steve Cameron Productions on YouTube. And if you want to support my work, I do have several books on the JFK assassination on Amazon. You can just find me on Amazon, Steve Cameron. One of my main books right now is called The Deputy Interviews. It's a true story about Roger Dean Craig. I'm also working on another book about Lee Harvey Oswald that I'm hoping to have completed before the end of the year. It's called Frame Up. Thank you very much for having me, Don, and thank you to the whole panel and everybody in chat. Really good to see everybody here.
Thanks for the great work you've been doing for a long time. Muppet Masher from the land down under. I know you're up at a very early hour, and you need to get some sleep after that marathon Spaces, but I really appreciate all the work you're doing.
I appreciate you having me on, Don.
Closing thoughts, and then give out your links.
Yeah, just one quick thing with the Zionist takeover. Ali and I have been working on Waterstone and Salem Media selling out to Waterstone. That sale was completed yesterday, Ali. So as of today, Waterstone will now be broadcasting the Charlie Kirk show and their podcast show. And I think we're going to see a lot of Zionist simps from there. Ken Harrison is a guy who owns Waterstone. Yeah.
Do live on it.
So not to keep your show running too long, Don. I really appreciate you having me on. I'll come on whenever you like.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on with me, brother. You're exploding. As I said, you're going to be on to bigger and better things here. So I appreciate you coming on, and both you and Allie, Top Files. You guys are really doing great work. Steve Cameron, RB, real quick, where can people find you or promote your?
I have a Rumble channel called Beyond the Pale. I'm also on YouTube. You can watch me. Don's a frequent guest. I think he's going to be back tomorrow night, aren't you, Don? We're gonna talk.
I never turn you down, do I?
we're gonna talk about aging and death tomorrow. I think it's time we're going to do that. We're going to take a.
That
I'm going to
sounds
have Bieta on it too, and we're going to
Okay.
talk about the philosophical things that you touched on when you turned 70 in your article that you wrote.
Okay.
And it's
I appreciate
brilliant. I'm 62. Bieta's 61, and we're all at that stage where we're going to have to start talking about this sort of thing. And why do we shy away from it? And we'll take a deep dive into that and try to come up with some spiritual connections that we can hold on to us as we go into the next realm of our life, because I don't believe death is the final
No, absolutely.
is the final
Absolutely.
chapter that they want us to believe. I just believe it's another phase we're going into, and the lessons we learn from this life will influence and broaden our vision in the next life. And so if you end up falling into all these traps and these partisan traps and going along with all these wars and all this psyops and stuff, and you actually believe it, and you're an NPC in this life, you're going to be an NPC in the next life.
Right.
Broaden your mind, broaden your ideas, broaden your interests, and always question, as Charlie Kirk would say, always question.
That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. on Beyond the Pale, the Rumble channel. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, everybody. You're all doing great work, and we'll have some more of these discussions as the trial comes closer. So again, keep it up, keep doing the great work, keep me updated. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
See you guys.
Take care. We'll see you next week,
Bye.
same time. Take care.
Solidarity.